Shalom. First and foremost, we would like to give all praise, glory, and the highest honor to
To
Yahweh,
Yahweh
Bahasham,
Bashem
Bahasham,
Yahushai
Bahasham,
Bashem
Bahadash.
Rakakwadash.
Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect of the Hebrew Israelites worldwide. Down with the brother Zayan.
And
And
Shalom.
Carl, we're gonna go into the topic of the mark of the beast, okay, which has been spoken of, okay, prophesied on in this book of in the book of Revelation, okay, chapter 13, 14, 15, and 16. And it's right at the door, man. Okay, and it is we're gonna go straight ahead and say what it is. It is the RFID CHIP. Okay, this is what it is, man. Okay, it's nothing else but the RFID CHIP, and where we learned it from the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Okay, so
Karnak. And
yeah,
one
you got
thing
it.
as well too, the reason we want to touch up on this topic, is the decree to at least bring out, a lesson regarding the MOTB and what it is and breaking it down because, you have Jake out here that, is still, waking up to the fact that the Israelites and the doctrine and, there's a lot of, um, camps out here, ABC camps that are teaching things other than what it actually is, and that's detrimental to your salvation, man. And we, as hopeful members of the elect, pursuant to the book of Ezekiel, the third chapter, if we warn you not of what it is, then guess what? That's blood upon our hands, man. You know. So we're gonna go and start up on Revelation 13, knock, and then I'll let you, go in on it, and then from there, Lord willing, let's be edifying. Okay. This is the book of
Hey,
Revelation. We got
before you do that, Salake, let me just grab scripture real quick on something that you said, man. Okay. This is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 39 and 1. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecies. So if you call yourself a man of the Lord, you have to be, seeing the prophecies of the Holy Bible as your job. Okay, it's your job to study them. Okay, to get real familiar with them and to follow them and be alert when it comes into fruition. In the world that we live in. Okay, so hey, so I just wanted to say that.
no, kind of actually. Before we get into it, let me get also this one precept for you, brother.
Come.
This is the book of Isaiah 62 and 6. I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace, day nor night. Yea, they make mention of the Lord. Keep not silence and give him no rest till he establish, until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. You see, so we are set up as watchmen. And the testimony of Yahushua is what? The spirit of prophecy. And how can we be watchmen if we don't know what's getting ready to come to pass? You know, how can we be watchmen still shaky about what the mark of the beast is? Still it could be that, but it could be this and no. We know what it is, and we're here to show you and prove to you why we say what it is, so that you go into Jacob's trouble, you know, not all confused, and as well as us for ourselves, being made white in front of Yahweh Shai, because we have what? Let it be known, the whole counsel of the Most High. You know, we didn't shun anything to keep followers. We didn't try to make we didn't try to prophesy this seats just because you people want to gain popularity on this side. No, we're here to tell you what it is and what it isn't. Okay, so you can go into it, so you can go into Jacob's trouble with full confidence and in knowing what the mark of the beast is, man. Okay, so this is the book of Revelations, chapter 13, and verse. I'm gonna just start at verse 15. Do you want me to start at 14, Knock?
Yeah, it's good.
Go on. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as was not worship the image of the beast should be killed. right? And you can read what that beast is in the book of Daniel's, right? Verse 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here's wisdom, let him that has understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, whose his number is 603 score and six, which would be 666. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So it's going to be real soon that it's going to be those that have and those that don't have. Okay, this is how globally the people are going to be categorized in two different groups, and those who have it, they are going to receive some benefits. Okay, including you can still have a job, even though it's bullshit. Working in the job is bullshit, but you're gonna have a roof on top of your head. You're able to buy some groceries. You're able to operate in society. But as for those that don't accept the mark of the beast, which is that CHIP, for those you're gonna be excluded from all of those things. Okay,
Hey,
you're gonna be thrown out of your house. Wait a minute, you're gonna be thrown out of your house. If you have a job, you're gonna get kicked out. If you're studying in a college or somewhere, you're gonna get thrown out of there as well. You cannot buy anything, and you become like a reject to the society, man. Okay, so you got it, bro.
yep, those are good points because how the brother you told me before Kent or before starting this digital pistol, how ISUPK is teaching that mark is Jake dealing with white women. So that's also another cut to that doctrine, because the Most High, or not Most High, Esau Edom is not going to be subjugating. Oh, those that have white women, you can still operate in, or you can still operate it in the society, but if you don't, then you're gonna you receive the mark. Right,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Imagine, there's some bodyguards in front of Targets or these different Walmarts, and they're saying that, hey, do you have a white girlfriend? Is she white? And but if you only if you have white girlfriend, then you have the mark, so you can enter. Okay, but if you say like, nah, my girlfriend is African, she's black, they like okay, nah, hey, you don't have the mark, go home somewhere, go somewhere. You see?
Man,
So
and
yeah,
then that's a good, just want to throw that out there. We're gonna go into more, when you go into Revelations of 14 chapters to like it tower, further, expounding on why these different doctrines that are out there on regarding the mark are not, suitable for prophecy and doctrine, man. Doesn't fit. Okay, so so this mark, the word mark, we're gonna get into it. I can bring it out. I can, if you want to go ahead and break that down.
yeah. Go to get to the root words. Okay.
This is G5480, which is Greek word charagma, and the etymology would be a stamp and imprinted mark, right? Thing, carved, sculptured, graven work of idolatrous images, right? The mark branded upon horses. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and I believe that word charagma also it appears somewhere in Acts in a graving. A Brogamar, Shalom, by the way. If you can look up that scripture, do you know what I'm talking about?
Shalom Akim Yahabah Shemal Shai Barakatah.
Yeah,
But I could look for it. You said in the book of
Yeah,
Acts.
yeah. I believe it's in the book of Acts. It has the word graving. I think it's the one where is Apostle Paul
Yep.
uh, seeing the one that they have, to the unknown God. They have the
Acts
altar.
17 and 29.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So okay. So Gomar, as you are getting that, so on the first word, the Greek word is charagma, which in C is a stamp or a graving. What it only signifies is that it's a physical thing. Okay, it's not a sin. Okay, as I see want to say that is sin, and they change it. First they were saying that it's embargo, okay, which even as a concept it doesn't fit, man.
Doesn't
Like
work.
some trade embargo, and and then when it says in Revelation 13 that it's all great and small. Then they say it's talking about great nations and small nations, rich nations and poor nations. Talking about embargo, but it doesn't fit in, man. So it's a physical thing, and we have the Greek language here to prove it. If you just take the Bible, okay, and just read it in English without going to the Hebrew or the Greek, you're gonna be confused as fuck, man. Okay, in the book of Acts, it speaks about Easter. So hey, go celebrate Easter, nigga. Okay, hey, this upcoming April, go buy some Easter bunnies, some chocolate eggs. Go get into that fucking spirit of worshiping Ishtar then. If you want to take everything literally, because obviously the word there should be Passover. Okay.
Mhm.
So Gamar, you got it, bro?
Yeah, I got it right here. This is the book of Acts 17 and 29. For as much then as we are the offspring of Yahweh, we ought not to think that the Godhead is like unto gold or silver or stone, graven by art and the man's device.
Woo.
Yeah. So you are into blue letter Bible.
Yep, I'm right here. This
So
is
the word is charagma, right?
yep, Charagma Strong's G 5480.
Yeah, because it's the same word, man, and it's showing that it's something physical. You're gonna have you know your skin, whether it's going to go in your head, okay, or your hands or wherever. Your skin is gonna be pierced, okay. It's
Yes.
gonna be great inside, and that CHIP is going to be implemented.
Karnak,
Okay.
and it's also likened unto an idol because when you take it, you're showing Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai that Esau Edom is your God. You're trusting on him for him to provide you with food, with water, with your necessities, and furthermore, you're denouncing the Lord to go ahead and follow under his order when the Most High commanded us to not take this mark, and if you take it, well, it goes to show you who you worshipped. Okay, let me get this precept for you brothers, man, real quick.
It also says a prefix for the word Charagma, Strong's G 5482, Harax, and it says to sharpen to a point through the idea of scratching. And then right here, a precept. This is Luke chapter 19 and 43. For the day shall come upon you that your enemy shall cast a trench. The word trench, that's where you get the word karax, which means a scratching about you and compass thee around and keep thee on every side. So there you go, man. There's is a physical mark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that okay. So before we move forward, let's tackle all of the root words. So, Gamar, if you can also go to the root word of karax, which is grapho. So we're gonna break that down next. But concerning the karax, is actually the instrument with which the CHIP is going to be implemented
Mm-hmm.
under your skin. Okay, is that instrument with the needle, which is gonna pierce your skin, and with that, boom, it's gonna
Mm-hmm.
be inside of your skin, man.
Because when you
Okay.
go into that word karax, it means a pale or stake, a palisade, which are all
Mm.
instruments of puncturing, meat. A stake is used to hold meat, but in order to hold the meat, you need to what? Use a stake to hold it.
It's an
You know,
instrument. For
it's an instrument.
example, here in the world, man, when Jay goes and gets tattoos with an Edomite, the Edomite has an instrument with ink on it. That's the
Mm.
stake that they used to
Mm-hmm.
imprint a mark.
Yep, it's
Yeah,
the actual device held in order to put this thing inside of you, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful because all of these root words in the Greek language, they actually break it down by themselves. So,
Yeah.
Gamar, do you have the third group root word, which is grapho?
Yep. So the third root word from charagma to karax, it's grapho. Strong's G 1125. Grapho, and it says here, to write, writing, with reference to the form of the letters, to write, to express in written characters. And there's a precept right here. This is the book of Matthew 4:4. But he answered and said, "It is written, man should not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Most High." The point right here in chapter 4, verse 4, but he answered and said, "It is written." That word written, that's where you get the word graphos, which is a writing or a data, where you write down information. It says
Ooh.
to commit, write down, to record. And we understand that the mark of the beast, it's pretty much what we call the AI, artificial intelligence, okay, technology. Inside of that, that's where you're gonna have your records, your writings, your passport, your ID, your DMV records. Okay, so that's how you know it's a physical mark.
It's gonna be all coded in there, man. And you know how me and the brother, Rocky, were going into it before I'm opening up. Code is another language, man. You write code, okay, in order for, before that Karagma can even open up a door or make payments through that device, or how they say it's gonna be able to bring back certain of your ailments. There needs to be written a code on there, okay, and in order before that can even be happening. So it
Yeah,
goes.
hey, go ahead, go ahead.
You got it, Ak, you got it.
No, you go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
That's pretty much the main point. That's all I wanted to bring
All
out,
right.
really.
So also, just to back you up, man, because what you said is beautiful. Hey, Elon Musk said that the Neuralink, which is a form of the MOTB that is put on your head, okay, he said that it can cure depression. So wait a minute, man. Let's say, wait a minute. So let's say you are depressed, and then comes this device with the writings, with the codings, with the grapho that's gonna alter your thought patterns in a way that so that's great. So then you're not anymore depressed, but you're gonna be someone who is uplifted, okay, who is happy. So you have to think it further. So this fucking device, it can monitor and give you dreams by night. It can remove your memories. It can implant new memories. And this is why we say that the so-called white man Esau Edom has a god complex, because why are you concerned with something like that, bro? You know. So Khan, hey,
Yeah.
I have,
Also, I want
yeah,
to
you
make a
got it, you
point.
got it.
I went into the etymology word for grapho, and right here, there's a word. It says noun, allograph. It says writing made by another person, something written, especially in law. And it says right here, a form of an alphabetical letter. So pretty much what Esau wants to do, like Brother Zayan said, it's a code. Esau wants to decode, alter your coding that the Mosai already gave you into his coding. He's trying to hack you, man. In other words, Esau's trying to
Yep.
hack, these spirits into making them be in his spirit, in the spirit of Satan, man.
Can you,
Hey,
but look, I just searched up this real quick. I put code is language on Google, and it says yes, code is a language that allows programmers to communicate with computers and create software, websites, and other digital tools. You see? So Esau Edom is Graphos is going into the data that's being written on that RFID hit, man.
And that's a spirit
Okay.
because you said the word software, right? And doesn't Bill Gates has a company called Microsoft,
Mm-hmm.
small software.
Bro.
So that's what it
And
is.
then, and really, this is all leading back to something that's physical, more than anything, the prefix, the what is that the Graphos is
That's the third
the right.
prefix of Karax.
Karax Khan. So you have the whole general word of Karagma leads back to something physical, man. So this to let you know that as soon as any other camp or any brother that's out there, right? Because we are affiliates as well. We follow the Great Millstone Doctrine and the decrees set out by them, but we're not officially a part of them. But you also have men out here that are just free roaming, out there doing their own thing. If anybody is teaching that the RFID chip is not the mark, man, you have to run. Don't even try to watch their videos. Don't even try to follow them, subscribe to them, bro. Really, remove them. Okay,
Yeah,
because you got a
yeah,
thought. So like it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so lucky, man. And the thing is that also the Christians, because there is some different people here in Finland who are so-called, Christian, born againers, okay, and they make some different videos. Some people like to try and go into the prophecies, and there's this one dude. He made a video concerning the MOTB, right? Okay, in the Finnish language. So it sparked my attention. I went ahead and looked it, and he was getting quite close, man. He was like, if I remember correctly, speaking, concerning the C19 jab, or the C19 shot. Okay, maybe it's this one. And then I sent a comment to his video saying that the MOTB is the RFID micro C-hip. And you know what this motherfucker answered? He said that yes, that is a possible option. That's a good possible option. So the thing with these Christians, and I've seen it before, they have these different television shows, and when they tackle the topic of MOTB, they offer you a variety of different options. They shoot with a shotgun. They paint with a white brush. They telling you fucking 74 different things. It could be seen. It could be the C19 shot. Maybe some people say that it is the CHIP. But what the fuck is that, man? We give a certain sound. We tell you that the MOTB, the mark of the beast, is the RFID C-hip. Period. Period.
Kind of.
Yeah. So okay, I just wanted to add that in.
Yeah.
Kind.
So real quick, I share the group chat, and this is a better breakdown with the images of the mark of the beast being the RFID chip, and it starts with Karagma, Karax, and then Graphle, which I don't know how you brothers could share this on the StreamYard, but we could also share it on with another phone. I don't know if the brother has a different phone that could
Yeah, I'm gonna show it to the screen.
but yeah, that's the one right there. That's the main point we're trying to bring out.
No, that's a beautiful image too, man. It goes to show you, the full aspect, right? Charagma, the word, goes back to something that's being written unto you or written on you like a idol, and then
Yeah,
Karak's the actual device, and then Graphos, the data being written on the device, man.
yeah. For example, the scriptures, that's a spiritual device, and we got something known as scribes, the person that writes down,
Woo.
which are Israelites that wrote down the scriptures. So spiritually, we wrote down the scriptures and we quoted Yahweh Bashim Shai's blueprint, and that's what Esau wants to do. He wants to have a new blueprint based upon his ideologies.
Come on, brothers can screenshot it right there.
There you go.
Come on, bro, mighty. Allows Jake to see what we're going into. It's pretty self-explanatory, and the reason why we constantly keep bringing this out is because you still got Jake that is out here in the world getting ready to go into Jacob's trouble, wishy-washy about what the mark of the beast could be, man. And you can't go into Jacob's trouble with that mindset, bro, because remember, this is going to be the temptation that's going to fall upon the whole earth, man.
Hey, it's like
Even
the Apostle Ella Tahar said, it's either two things, man. Either you sold out or you're mentally retarded. Not knowing if the mark of the beast is the RFID chip, you're either sold out or you're just retarded, man.
you're spiritually retarded, man.
Yeah.
It's because just with this alone, bro, Pabakushak and brothers get into Revelations the 14th chapter and start at verse 9 and 10, because just going into the word mark, it should have been self-explanatory, but when you go into the next chapter, it goes and cuts down even more of these wayward doctrines, bro, what the mark is, man. Because we're gonna get into it, bro, and
Yeah, you said
Somebody,
Revelation 14 and 9.
Yeah, but Bakwashak, and you can go down to verse 10. Um, even goes even further and cutting down. It could either be sin, it could be or a political sin.
yeah,
Okay, right. It could be all. It can be 10 different things.
Right,
Right.
what?
It could be white women. It can be a little bit of everything. No. Okay. And whenever you got that, brother.
Yeah, got it right here. Revelation 14 and 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of the torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name.
Woo, that's a straight cut, bro. Have we not all sinned before we came into the ministry?
Yeah, that means we're all through, bro.
No, hey, and then for the white woman, did not King Solomon have Edomite wives?
Yeah.
mhm.
So is he gonna receive that judgment? And when you go into it, which is a little some meat for you brothers, man. That's Yahweh Shai in the reincarnation, bro. So you gotta really really study these scriptures, bro. Just going into the words alone, is an easy cut, and then going into Revelations the 14th chapter. You didn't even have to go into the word mark. You could have just read the 14th chapter and okay, perfect. It can't be sin because well we already all sinned before. And it can't be white women because what? You have Jake that has dealt with white women, and you had King Solomon deal with white women. So no, that's out the window. And it can't be political sin. It can't be. It has to be something physical, bro, and something that us brothers have never, went through. Going, regarding the mark. And then again, um, that happened actually in the time of Egypt as well, right? That awe. It goes to show you that if you take that awe, what did that mean back then? It meant that you were worshiping Pharaoh.
You talking about the Ankh?
The awe act. It's called the awe. Let me get it for you, brothers, real quick.
No, no. Hey, I've been holding that for 20 minutes, bro. Let me get it, man.
Oh,
I have it
Khan,
here.
you got it, Ak, you got it. You can bring it out.
Come. So this Exodus 21 and 2. If thou buy an Hebrew servant 6 years, he shall serve, and in the seventh he shall go out free for nothing. Okay. So this is Hebrew having another Hebrew. Okay, Israelite having another Israelite as a servant. Okay, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
If he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him. Okay, if his master have given him a wife and she have borne him sons or daughters, the wife and the children shall be her master's, and he shall go out by himself. And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. Verse 6, here's the point. Then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever.
Woo.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
so,
that's the
yeah,
idol aspect of the charagma, man.
yeah.
That's the idol aspect of the charagma. That's in a righteous sense because we would do that back in the ancient world. But it goes to show you that hey, you know what? I don't want to go free. I actually like this Hebrew brother. Being how you would say on this side, my boss, and I want to work for him forever. And then what? Okay, perfect. That's fine. Come here. Let me put this all in you. Bang. Okay, now you what? Now you're a servant unto that, man for the rest of your life. Going into the charagma, same thing. Guess what? You told Yahweh that no, I don't want to serve you. I want to get this digital awe from Esau Edom. Okay, then let him be your master. And what's gonna happen to you? Revelations the 14th chapter, 9 through 10, man. going to show you that that's the idolatry. That's the worshiping of the image of the beast, man. Okay. You worship the ways of Esau, Edom. You worship the ways of Babylon the Great. You don't want to leave it. So what are you gonna do? Just give me the Charagma, man. Just give me the Charagma. I want to, trust in you, Esau.
Yeah, the scripture says, "Woe unto him that goeth to Egypt for help."
Isaiah the 30. Let me get that for you.
Yeah. Also, I just want to make a clear point because concerning the image of the beast, it's not a literal beast, like a lion or a tiger or eagle. Okay, the beast represents a man, and to back up that precept, this is Ecclesiastes 3:18. I said in my heart concerning the estate of the sons of man that Yahweh might manifest them, that they might see that they themselves are like beasts. So when you go into the image of a beast, it's like unto a man, and that man is the Edomite man. Just to make that point.
Yeah, yeah, that's the world system, and also in Revelation 13 and 18, it goes into the 666. So what that actually goes into is the universal product code. So that's another lesson by itself. But if you look at the universal product code, the
Yep.
it symbolizes 666. Just to put it to summarize the matter. Okay, so that just means that you are part of the commerce. You are part of the monetary financial transactions if you take the CHIP inside of you. Okay, so then you're also going to represent 666 in that way.
Not because it's the product code for everything. So
Yeah,
if you once you take that Charagma, well, you're able to buy and sell. And what are you able to buy and sell? All of Esau Edom's products, which are what tied back to that. That one is, the actual that when you go into like the embargoes on all these different products, when you go to the store, that barcode that you scan goes back to 666.
yeah, bro. And it's something real funny, real quick. When you have these Christians and you ask them, what is the mark of the beast? Quite often they're gonna respond, 666, Lucifer. And then they have the 1,000 yard stare. So these niggas are hilarious, bro.
Karnak. Hey, I have this in Isaiah 30th chapter because it actually goes perfectly with the idolatry aspect of taking that Charagma. Isaiah 30 and 1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Because Esau Edom is gonna what? Do this thing that he's been going with, known as Ordo ab Chao, right? Which when you translate it, it goes into order out of chaos. He's gonna cause chaos in order to bring order. And once the chaos is, started, you're gonna have to choose who you're gonna trust in to deliver you in that day, and for the most part, right, 144,000 and the 1/3 is a lot less than the 2/3 and these other nations. For the most part, these people are going to take that Charagma, man, because they actually trust in Egypt and these Edomites as the rulers, man. Verse 3: Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion, man. Okay, because you're gonna be, going into Jacob's, or you're gonna be going into the time of Jacob's trouble, taking that Charagma, being in a nice little 15-minute city for a little bit. Next thing you're gonna start getting cancer on your hand, and you're gonna see World War III still brewing up. And next thing you're gonna see the missiles being shot, and you're gonna be ashamed. You're like, what the? I thought we were good. But the whole time, you were just never part of the elect, man. And you other nations, bro, if you know you're a heathen, man, just take that Charagma as soon as possible, bro. Live life. You want to be the first ones in line for to have a little bit of comfort going into that time, man.
Yeah, but actually, even for them, it's fucked up to take it because if you read it in Revelation 16 and 1, let me get it real quick. And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, go to your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of the Most High upon the earth. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore
Yep.
upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. So if you're gonna take the CHIP, you're gonna develop cancer, okay? Because it's an unrecognizable, electric, technological device inside of your body, which your body is not going to recognize it. So it's going to attack against it, and you're going to have a sore. You're going to have a grievous and noisome sore upon your hand, okay, on your forehead, and it's going to develop into a cancer. So it's fucked up for everybody to take it, man.
Yep,
Okay, and
that's
there
true.
may be some
That's true.
people, who are Israelite foreigners. Let's say they are East Indians or Chinese, and they, think that they are excluded anyway. But hey, it might be that they're Israelites.
You're right,
And
Connor.
yeah, and there's parts of the world which are not going to be destroyed. So when the elect are going to come back, from the chariot, okay, to take control of the world through the governance of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and then it's going to be, checked out these different Israelites all over the world who have been remained alive through World War III. If they're gonna, accept Yahweh Shai as the king, as the powers that he is. So then they're gonna receive mercy, man. But if not, they're gonna have to put to sleep, and they gonna come back as babies. So even for them, it's not good to, of course, to take the charagma.
Bro. Beautifully said, man. Because that's true. At the end of the day, man, you don't know if you could be a Jake or not.
Yeah,
But at the end of the day, it is a spiritual thing as well, too. That if you take that charagma, regardless, man, you're not of the elect. you know,
yeah,
you're never meant to even gain salvation. But yeah, um, goes to show you, man, that everything we touched up on, that it's a physical thing. It's not something that Jake should be really super confused about. And you should be going into this time of you know this time of prophecy, knowing what these things are, man. Because how are you going to go into Jacob's trouble? Still confused about what the mark of the beast is. You know,
yeah. I got a scripture to back you up on what you just said. Uh,
bring it out,
uh,
bring it out, bring it out.
no.
Jake, and you have Jake say that.
Yeah, bring it up. So this is First
That's
Peter
right.
4. Yeah. So this is First Peter 4:18. And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear?
Yeah,
Yeah, man. So hey, if the elect, they're gonna be narrowly, just gonna receive salvation, and they are up on the game, bro. Hey, what scripture we opened up the lesson with? Sirach 39:1. They're occupied in prophecies. They taking care of their duties as a man in this path. Okay, they sharp. Okay, they have their ups and downs, but for the most part they're sharp. You know, and they just gonna be saved, man. So what about those motherfuckers that has no clue, who just out there, existing, just being some bots in the matrix, bro. Just eating and sleeping and just being out there, So how about them?
nah, let me get this one precept for you. This is the book of Second Timothy 2:15. Study to shew thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth, man. As you see, it didn't take us fucking 5 hours to make a breakdown on the mark of the beast, right? Like WFI. They took like 4 hours to make a lesson, and they still never went into the buying and selling aspect. Man, it goes to show you, man, that you know, the Habakkuk the second chapter, bro. The Most High is gonna have it to where these prophecies are gonna be made plain unto you, bro. You know how the brother said, how other Apostle Tahar said, man, if you can't see that the mark is the RFIDC hit, bro, you're just spiritually retarded, man. Because it's super easy to go into the word mark and to divide the word of truth, man. Going into it, you know, putting putting all the things on the table, right? Throwing all the chips on the table and seeing, if which ones fit. Okay, can't be women. This one doesn't fit. Okay, it can't be sin. That one doesn't fit. Okay, it's, this the Quran, the RFIDC hit. This one fits. This one fits here. This one fits here. This one fit. Okay, this one fits all of them, right? One may fit a little bit, but if it doesn't go throughout the whole, the whole prophecy, then it does. You got to remove that out of there. Okay, right. Let me
Yeah,
get this
yeah,
record.
that's called the process of elimination.
One more thing, like verse 16. But shun profane and vain babblings, bro. That fucking 3 hours lesson on the mark of the beast of WF5, bro, where they didn't even go into explaining the buying and selling aspect of it, right? They were babbling for fucking 3 hours on not even talking about anything. For they will increase unto more ungodliness, bro. Just yapping it away, man. No precepts.
Yeah, bro. That's fucking vanity, man. It's fucking vexing us all hell. It's the same as if on YouTube, you wanna look up a tutorial. How can you change the tires of your car? And then the
Exactly,
motherfucker in the
bro.
video for fucking 15 minutes is saying, I like to use these kind of gloves to do it. They support my fingers. I don't get, any, damage to my fingers or anything. And I like this kind of a tool because it's so good to use that. And then the
That's
motherfucker is speaking for 15 minutes, and it's just, hey, what the fuck, man? Where
so.
the fuck can I sit?
Yo, when are you gonna get to the point, bro? Like, when are you gonna
Yeah,
get to the buying and selling aspect, bro? Break
yeah,
that
that's vexing
down.
as hell, man.
You're
Hey, hey,
fucking
from the get go of this lesson, like fucking 2 minutes in, we already went over what is the charagma, man.
man, quick,
Straight up
bro.
after the intro, straight up after the intro, bro, is the CHIP, man. You know.
And we went into all of it, bro. It's crazy how it takes you. You're already 2 hours in a lesson, and they still haven't got to really the easiest part, the buying and selling aspect, bro. Because that buying and selling aspect, bro, it cuts all that it's sin. It cuts that it's white women. It cuts that it's something spiritual. It cuts all that, bro. Because how are you going to be able to buy and sell with something spiritual? How are you going to be able to buy and sell with sin? Oh, you're eating pork. Okay, you can come and buy and sell. No, you know it's honestly a fairly simple breakdown, but nonetheless, we got to constantly bring this out because you got Jake, still waking up, bro. You still got Jake, still lost in the sauce a little bit, and hey, the Most High is gonna have it to where, hey, my sheep hear my voice, bro. You're gonna stumble on, you know, a breakdown video or brothers speaking about it, and if you receive it, call out Yahweh was shy. If you don't, well, you just weren't part of the elect, bro. You know.
Yeah. Hey, Elder Apostle Taha, he said it a while back, like how you gonna be with these Negroes. A, B, C, They take,
God,
not take,
God, bro.
simple as all hell, bro. In their brain is just, like we covered in the earlier videos, man. They just focused about, NBA, what the fuck is called NBA, NFL, okay, the football, the basketball, smoking weed, eating chicken, clapping these ratchet ass, big booty hoes. That's the only thing that Jake is concerned about, bro.
Come on, bro. And well, it's gonna lead to your to their destruction, bro. We're on the other hand, how I quoted the precept in Ezekiel the third chapter. Well, we have already let you brothers know what it is. So on our end, we're good, man. We're gonna constantly keep reiterating in this until what the end, man. We're gonna
Mhm.
constantly keep going over and over the same things because hey, we're making sure that our blood are cleansed from you know, yeah, that our hands are cleansed from the blood,
Yeah,
right? Because if if we don't tell you what these things are, well, we have blood on our hands. But the scriptures say that, you know, let me get it. This is the book of Romans 10 and 18. But I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily, their sound went into all the earth, and their words unto the ends of the world, man. You have brothers constantly bringing out the same breakdowns, the same. Remember, the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone, their doctrine is really one of the only doctrines that have stayed the same throughout all this ministry, bro. You know, all these different camps that have wayward doctrines, bro. They're changing it every other fucking. You know, you gotta fucking relearn everything over again because they're fucking constantly changing the doctrines to something else, bro. You know.
Yeah, yeah, that's it, man. That's it. And one last that we didn't go through is Revelation 15.
Okay.
So if you can go read the first two verses, then we're gonna close it out, man.
Come on, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 15 and verse 1. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous. 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for them is filled up the wrath of the Most High. And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of the Most High. Woo.
Yeah. So hey, that's the elect of the chariots, man. You know, seeing Babylon getting fucking destroyed, you know, burned up, and hey, the elect are gonna get victory over the mark of the beast, man. Okay. You know, they're gonna get the victory over the beast, over his image, and over his mark. So the elect, they're not gonna take the CHIP because they're gonna win against it. Okay.
Come on,
This is
bro,
what
and
we're praying for, man.
yep, and on this side, what we're still under grace because what we still break the law and sin. So how the fuck are we gonna be, you know, on that glass being with fire if that mark is sin?
Yeah.
You know, if that mark is, you know, white women, you know, stupid, bro. You know, all this other stuff that, you know, Jake is believing in, you know, is stupid. Doesn't fit, you know. So, you know, hey, this is, you know, for, you know, hey, you know, pretty self, you know, explanatory, you know, when you go into that word mark and the, you know, the actual word there, charagma, you know, charax and graphos. That alone should, you know, go ahead, you know, let your brothers, you know, with that blueprint, read over it, you know, look at it, and then it's an easy call on what the mark of the beast is, man. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, we got this breakdown from the elders and apostles of Great Millstone down. 100% truth, you know, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, you know, just straight up, man.
A lot. You know, so, you know, with that, we can probably go ahead and close out, man. You know, it's pretty self-evident on what the mark of the beast is. We're gonna go ahead and, you know, bring in more, you know, Lord willing, the Lord brings out, you know, more, you know, prophecy and brings us, you know, this, you know, RFID ship even closer, bro, because this is, you know, this is one of the last prophecies we're actually just waiting to make manifest. And, you know, we'll be almost home, man. Lord willing, you know, Lord willing.
Can't. So with that, we want to give all praise, glory, and the highest honor to
To
Yahweh,
Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem,
Bahasham,
Rakah
Rakat,
Wadash.
double honor, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Shalom, to the hopeful elect, Hebrew Israelites worldwide, Shalom.
Shalom, shalom.